Once upon a time, in a small cozy village, there lived a little girl named Lily and her grandfather, Grandpa Joe.
Lily, how would you like to take a trip up into the sky?
Into the sky? How can we do that, Grandpa?
Come with me.
Together they walked to the backyard where a large, colorful hot air balloon was waiting. It had red and yellow stripes and it swayed gently in the breeze.
Wow! Is this how we'll go into the sky?
We're going on an adventure high above the clouds.
They climbed into the basket of the balloon, and with a whoosh, the balloon began to rise. Up and up they went, floating gently into the sky. The houses and trees below grew smaller and smaller until they looked like tiny toys.
Creating 2D animations has become way easier than you think. In this video, I'm going to show you how you can create a simple 2D animations video like the one that you have just watched using Canva. Let's get started. To start off, I'm going to head over to ChatGPT and I'm going to type the following prompt. Generate a short story for kids aged 5 to 8 years old about a girl and her grandfather. ChatGPT has generated for us a story that we're going to use. You can go ahead and edit the story that ChatGPT has given you to make it a lot more interesting. From here, I'm going to copy this entire story and I'm going to paste it onto a Google document. This will make it very easy for me when I get to the next step of generating images. The next step is to generate our characters together with the different scenes for our story. And for that, we're going to use Canva. Once you're on Canva, you're going to click on Create a Design. And since I'm creating a YouTube video, I'm going to select Video. I'm going to head over back to my Google Doc. And I will read through the story that we have just generated from ChatGPT. So for our first scene, I'm going to have a cozy village. And so I'm going to head over back to Canva. And I'm going to click on Elements. And I'm going to search for a village. I'm going to select Graphics. And Canva has generated for us different images that we can use for our scene. Let's check out this one here. To pick on this one here. And I'm going to right click it. And I'm going to set the image as background. I will head over back to my Google Doc. We need to generate the characters. So we need a little girl and her grandpa. I'm going to head over back to Canva. And on my left, I'm going to come down here and I'm going to click on Apps. And in the search bar, I'm going to search for character. Select the first option, Character Builder. So this is the app that we're going to use to generate our characters. It's a free tool on Canva and you can play around with it. Get to create the different characters for your scenes. Now for our little girl, I'm going to come over down here and I'm going to start with the body. I'll pick on that body there and you can see that our little girl has now been generated and placed right on our scene. And I'm going to click on back and I want our girl to have a happy face. So I'm going to stick with this face here. And for the head, I'm going to select this one here. So you can see that this app helps us to generate the different elements for our character. Down here, I'm going to change the skin tone for our character. So I'm going to select that skin tone there. You can also change the hair color for your character, but I think I'm going to stick with this hair color for this particular character here. So I'm going to click on Done and you can see that we have our character there. And this is the character that I'm going to consistently use throughout our story. So let me place our character somewhere here, right on our scene. And I'm going to generate the next character, which is our grandpa. So I'll start with the body again. I'm going to click on See All and I'm going to select that character there. And I'm going to come up here and I'm going to click on back. We can change the head of our character, but I think for a grandpa that fits perfectly. Let's come down here and I'm going to change the skin tone for this particular character here. So I'm going to select that skin tone and we can leave the hair color as is. Okay, from here we're going to click on Done. Let's reduce the size of this character and let's place our character somewhere down here, just next to the girl. Let's make the little girl a lot smaller, so like that. Our first scene is now ready. I'm going to head over back to our Google Doc and I'm going to read through the second sentence. So since the first paragraph is quite long, I'm going to duplicate this first scene here. So I'm going to click on the three dots here and I'm going to click on Duplicate Page. For this second scene, I would want our characters to walk to the front. And for that, I'm going to remove these first characters here. So I'll start with the little girl. And then I'm going to come over again to our app, our character builder, and I'm going to start with the body. And I'm going to select the body where the girl is walking. So I'll start with that. Then click on back. I'm going to select this particular head here, and then I'm going to change the skin tone. So we now have our little girl Lily, who looks like she's walking. From here, I'm going to click on done. So I'm going to reduce the size of this character, and I'm going to place her somewhere here, and I'm going to flip this character here. So I'd want this character to walk towards this end for the second scene, and I'm going to do the same thing for Grandpa Joe. So I'm going to delete that image there. Then I'm going to come back to our character builder, and I'm going to click on see all. I will come down here, and I'm going to pick on this body here where Grandpa Joe is walking. Then I'm going to click on back. Then I'm going to change the skin tone. So I'm going to select that skin tone, and I'm going to click on done. I will reduce the size of our grandpa, and I'm going to place our grandpa somewhere there, and I'm going to flip him. So I'm going to flip horizontal. Let me place our grandpa somewhere there. So now that we have our two characters here, I would want them to walk towards this end. So I'm going to click on the first character, which is the little girl, and I'm going to click on animate, and I'm going to click on this B here, and I'm going to create a path for this first character. Okay, I'm going to do the same for the second character. So I'm going to click on Grandpa Joe, and I'm going to animate our grandpa, and I'm good with that. I'm also going to change the movement style. I'm going to select smooth, and I'm going to click on done. From here, I'm going to create the next scene. So I'm going to click on add page, and I will head over back to our Google Doc, and I'm going to read through the next sentence of our story. For the third scene, I'm going to delete our characters that look like they're walking. So I'll start with the girl. I'm going to delete this girl here, and I'm going to go back to our character builder, and this is the point at which Grandpa and Lily are having a conversation. So I'm going to pick on this little girl here standing again, and I'm going to click on back. I'm going to select the second head here, and I'm going to change the skin tone, and I'm going to click on done. So I'm going to reduce the size of our character and place our character here, and then I'm going to delete Grandpa Joe, and again I'm going to select a body where Grandpa Joe is standing. Click on back, and we are going to change the skin tone. From here we are going to click on done, and our second character is now ready. I'm going to place our character here, and I'm going to flip this character, so horizontal. So this is the point at which the two characters will be talking to each other. I'm going to head over back to our Google Doc, and again I'm going to read through the story. For the fourth scene, we're going to retain this background here, and I'm going to delete these characters, and I will bring in the characters that are walking. So at this point, they're going to be walking to the backyard. I'm going to copy that character there, and I'm going to paste it. I'm going to click on done. I'm going to head over back to our Google Doc, and for our fifth scene, we're going to have a different background. It's going to be a backyard with a hot air balloon. I'm going to go back to Canva, and I'm going to click on elements, and I'm going to search for a backyard. I will select this first backyard here, right click it, and I'm going to set the image as background. For a hot air balloon, I'm going to pick on this particular one here, and I'm going to place it somewhere here. I'm going to increase the size slightly, and we want our hot air balloon to sway a little bit. So I'm going to click on animate, and I'm going to select wiggle. I'm going to reduce the intensity, come back to the fourth scene, and I'm going to copy our characters so they should look like they are walking right to this backyard. So I'm going to start with the girl, and I'm going to place this girl somewhere here, then come over back, and I'm going to copy the second character, and I'm going to place our character there. So I'm going to create a path for it. For next scene, I'm going to duplicate this background here, the backyard background. So I'm going to click on duplicate page, and for this particular one here, I'm going to delete the path. So these characters should look like they're already standing next to the hot air balloon. So I'm going to click on custom, and I'm going to delete the path for the girl. Come to the second character, and I'm going to delete the path, and I'm going to place our two characters here. So I'm going to place Grandpa Joe somewhere there also. And I'm going to create another scene. For this particular scene here, I would want our characters to get right into this hot air balloon. I'm going to change these characters. So I'm going to delete our characters, and I'm going to bring in our characters standing. So I'm going to copy this first character here, and I'm going to place him right on this scene here. Head over back, and I'm going to copy our second character, and I'm going to place our character right on that scene. Okay. And for this particular one here, I'm going to increase the size of our hot air balloon, and I'm going to have our first character, which is a girl, get right into the hot air balloon basket. So I'm going to reduce the size of our girl, and I'm going to click on position, and I'm going to click on backward. Yeah. I'm going to bring in Grandpa Joe, reduce the size, and I'm going to have him also move to the back. Let me increase the size of this hot air balloon a lot more so that it's visible. Bring in our characters, place our characters there. From here, I'm going to group all these characters. So the hot air balloon, grandpa, and the little girl. We'll go back to elements and I'm going to search for clouds. I'm going to click on graphics and I'm going to select those clouds there. So I'm going to place our clouds there and I'm going to duplicate this particular one here, place another one somewhere there. I'm also going to search for some birds. I'll pick on this animated bird here. I'm going to reduce the size and I'm going to place our bird somewhere here and I'm going to animate this particular bird here. So I'm going to create a path for it and I'm going to change the movement style to smooth and I'm going to click on done. Let me bring in these other birds there and I'm going to place them somewhere there. Now let's animate our hot air balloon. I'm going to change the animation that you had initially selected, and for this one I would want our hot air balloon to rise up. Okay. And I'm also going to select wiggle and I'm going to reduce the intensity. I'm also going to bring in some animated trees. So I'm going to select this particular one here and I'm going to reduce the size and I'm going to place this tree somewhere here. And I will select this other one, reduce the size, and I'm going to place it somewhere there. And then bring in some other birds. So I can bring in another bird. I can select that bird there. So I'm going to reduce the size of the bird. I'm going to place it right on top of this tree here. So let me reduce the size further and I'm going to flip it. I'm going to bring in some flowers. So it's about the backyard. It needs to look really good. So I'm going to bring these flowers, place them somewhere there, reduce the size a bit, and I'm going to position them to the back. I'm going to duplicate those flowers and I'm going to place them somewhere there. And again, I'm going to position them to the back. Duplicate this one and I'm going to place it somewhere there. And so our beautiful scene is now ready. Now it's time to animate our characters, to make our characters actually talk. And I'm going to head over back to our first scene. For the first scene, we're going to have a narration, but for the second scene, we're going to have a conversation between Lily and Grandpa. And for the conversation, I'm going to need a voiceover. So I'm going to copy the conversation that Lily and Grandpa are having, and I'm going to paste it onto 11 Labs. I'm going to listen into the different voices available on 11 Labs.
The thing always happens that you
Allow the world.
And I'm going to click on Generate Speech.
Lily, how would you like to take a trip up into the sky?
And I'm going to download it. So our first voiceover is ready. I will head over back to my Google Doc and I'm going to copy the second conversation where Lily is talking to her grandpa. And I'm going to paste it right inside 11 Labs. And for Lily, I'm going to change the character doing the voiceover.
Allow
And I'm going to click on Generate Speech.
into the sky? How can we do that, Grandpa?
And I'm going to download this second voiceover. I'm going to head over back to my Google Doc and I'm going to copy the conversation and I'm going to paste it right inside 11 Labs. And again, I'm going to use the same voice that I used for the first voiceover.
Come with me.
And I'm going to download it. I will go ahead to generate the remaining voiceovers for our story. Now it's time to animate our voiceovers, and we're going to use a tool called Adobe Express. Once you're on Adobe Express, you're going to come over here to the category and you're going to select mouth only. And you can see the different mouthpieces that are available for us on Adobe Express. I'm going to select a happy mouthpiece. We can also change our background. A white background will be good for us. And I'm going to bring in our first voiceover. So I'm going to click on browse and I'm going to bring in Grandpa's first voiceover and we are going to download it. Click on back and we are going to use the same mouthpiece for the two characters, so that is Lily and Grandpa. So I'm going to click on replace audio, browse. I'm going to bring in Lily's voice, download. Click on back, replace audio, browse, download. Now let's head over back to Canva where we are going to animate our characters and have our characters actually talk. Once we are on Canva, we will come over to our left and we're going to click on uploads, upload files. And we are going to upload our animated voiceovers. For our first scene, I'm going to upload our first voiceover. I'm going to drag it and I'm going to place it just below the scenes. Now for this other scene here, I'm going to have Grandpa Joe talking. To do that, I'm going to start by erasing the mouth of this character here. So I'm going to click on edit and I'm going to click on magic eraser and I'm going to erase this mouth here. And I'm going to click on erase. If you do not have the paid version of Canva and you cannot access the magic eraser functionality, you will just come over here to your left, then click on elements, and you're going to search for a circle. You can pick on any circle. I'm going to pick on that one, and I'm going to change the color of this circle here. So you're going to come over here to color, and you're going to click on add a new color, and you're going to pick on this color picker. So click on that color picker, and you're going to highlight the face of your character. So select that color, and you can see that the color of our circle is now similar to the face of our character. Reduce the size of this circle, and you will bring it and you're going to place it right on top of this character's mouth. And you can see that it has now completely covered the mouth. Next, you will need to just group the circle together with your character. So you're going to select the circle, and you're going to select your character, and you're going to click on group. Then I'm going to come over back to uploads, and I'm going to bring in the first voiceover for grandpa. I'm going to place it there, and I'm going to click on edit background remover. I'm going to reduce the size of our mouthpiece, and I'm going to place it right on grandpa's mouth. I'm going to reduce it further, and I'm going to place it there.
Lily, how would you like to take a trip up into the sky?
And I'm going to bring in the second voiceover where Lily is talking. I'm going to remove the background for that mouthpiece, reduce the size of that mouthpiece, and before I place it on top of Lily, I'm going to erase this mouth here. So I'm going to click on edit, and I'm going to click on magic eraser, and I'm going to have this mouth erased. I'm going to reduce the size of that mouthpiece further, and I'm going to place it right on top of Lily's face. Next, I'm going to group. So I'll start with the grandpa with his mouthpiece. I'm going to click on the mouthpiece, shift, and then I'm going to click on grandpa, and I'm going to click on group. Click on Lily's mouthpiece, then Lily the character, and then I'm going to click on group. When you preview that scene, you will realize that the two characters will be talking simultaneously.
Lily,
Into the
how would you
sky?
like to take a
And that is not what we want. So to change that, you're going to click on that particular scene. I'm going to click on position, click on layers, and I'm going to click on the three dots at the end of the first layer. And I'm going to select show timing. I'm going to listen in so that I can get to know the point at which I'm going to stop the timer for Grandpa Joe.
Lily,
Into the
how would you
sky?
like to take a trip
How
up into
can
the
we
sky?
do that?
And I'm going to bring this timer to this end, then come over to the second character, and so I'm going to have this character start talking right after Grandpa has talked. So let's listen in.
Lily, how would you like to take a trip up into the
We do that, Grandpa.
Now you realize that once I have changed the timing, one of the characters at a particular point seems to disappear from the scene, and I do not want to have that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring in our second character. I'm going to introduce the girl without the voiceover, and I'm going to place her somewhere there. I'm going to bring the timer to that end. Let's preview it again.
Lily, how would you like to take a trip up into the sky?
Do that, Grandpa.
And I'm going to do the same thing for Grandpa as well. And I'm going to drag the timer to this end, to the point where Grandpa stopped talking to Lily. So now you see that you have two still characters. The first one is Lily. So whenever Grandpa is talking, Lily is silent. And for the second one, we have Lily talking and Grandpa will be silent. So let's preview it again.
Lily, how would you like to take a trip up into the sky?
Do that, Grandpa.
I'm going to do the same thing for the other scene. So I'm going to click on uploads, and I'm going to bring in the animated mouthpiece for Grandpa Joe. I'm going to click on edit background remover. I will reduce the size of that mouthpiece, and before I place it right on top of Grandpa Joe, I'm going to edit that image, magic eraser, and I'm going to erase the mouth. Now from here, I'm going to reduce the mouthpiece a lot more, and I'm going to bring it, and I will place it on top of Grandpa Joe's face. Next, I'm going to group the two of them together. I think we're good. So let's listen in.
Come with me.
Together they walked to the backyard where a large, colorful hot air balloon was waiting. It had red and
I'm going to do the same thing for the remaining scenes. Once everything is set and you're good with your animation, you can bring in some music. Just head over to your YouTube studio, and you're going to come down here on your left, and you're going to click on audio library. And right here, you'll get a variety of music that you can download. I have already downloaded mine and uploaded it onto Canva. So I will just come over here to uploads, and I'm going to click on audio, and I'm going to drag my music, and I will place it just below the scenes. You can reduce the volume of your music by clicking on the music and then clicking on this volume icon, and you can reduce the volume to whatever volume you think will be suitable for your video. From here, you can download your video. To do that, you're going to click on share and you're going to click on download, and you will download it as an MP4 video. Click on download. Let's preview our final animation.
Once upon a time, in a small cozy village, there lived a little girl named Lily and her grandfather, Grandpa Joe.
Lily, how would you like to take a trip up into the sky?
Into the sky? How can we do that, Grandpa?
Come with me.
Together they walked to the backyard where a large, colorful hot air balloon was waiting. It had red and yellow stripes and it swayed gently in the breeze.
Wow! Is this how we'll go into the sky?
We're going on an adventure high above the clouds.
They climbed into the basket of the balloon, and with a whoosh, the balloon began to rise. Up and up they went, floating gently into the sky. The houses and trees below grew smaller and smaller until they looked like tiny toys.
Don't forget to check out my other tutorial videos for more tips and tricks on creating amazing animations using Canva. Thanks for watching. Until next time, God bless.